Right. Well, thank you for setting that record straight. I mean, Andrew Pearce, a very experienced journalist. I've worked with him over the years. He said that he talked to somebody who was there. There were only a few of you present at that event. It seems to me that you, MPs, I feel very sorry for you. You can't trust anybody at the moment.
That is exactly right, Isabel. It's a very fevered atmosphere at the moment everywhere. Leaks are abound and spring up everywhere. And I think one's got to be very careful who one talks to about what at the moment. And I would just urge my colleagues that any leaks actually are extremely damaging, and particularly if they're untrue like this one. It's just not helpful to anybody.
I was interested to read in the Telegraph today, a column by Fraser Nelson, who's extremely well informed, that there are at least 54 MPs ready to move against the Prime Minister. Is that your reading of the state of play?
Well, I must just say straight away, as I often say on these programmes, Sir Graham never discloses to anybody, even the officers of the 22, how many signatures he's got. So I have no informed information on this subject. If Fraser, who is, as you say, a very well-respected journalist, has that, and he's actually talked to over 54 MPs who've said that they're going to submit letters, and that doesn't, as Tom Driver said, doesn't necessarily mean to say that they will or they have. I don't know. I simply don't know whether there are that number of people out there. I doubt it from all the conversations I've had, very considerable number of conversations over the last 10 days, that there are that number out there at the moment, but I simply don't know. And you can be absolutely assured, your listeners, the public can be absolutely assured, as soon as that threshold is triggered, then Sir Graham Brady will go and see the Prime Minister, and there will then be a no confidence vote. That's how the 22 works. That is our rules. We have no latitude in this whatsoever. Once the threshold is reached, there has to be a vote of confidence.
OK, just very briefly, because we're running out of time here, do you think that your colleagues, particularly those that are hostile to the Prime Minister, will accept that they can't do anything more until the police investigation has run its course? Because that could be anything up to a year, couldn't it?
I think there's going to be a huge row about this, and I don't actually think it helps the Prime Minister's case. I think that Number 10 ought to be talking to the police to see exactly whether any of the report could be released, because I think it is hugely in the public interest in this case that as much of it should be released as possible. And I would have thought it's in the Prime Minister's interest. If he's, as he says he is, declaring that he's innocent, I'd have thought he'd want that report into the public domain so he can prove his innocence.
Well, you certainly would have thought so. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sir Geoffrey Clifton-Brown, and for clarifying your non-role in the so-called pork pie plot.
Thank you very much indeed, Isabel.